Performance analysis. The purpose of the analysis within this document is to provide feedback to coaches and players on team KPIs from the GWS Academy matches from the 2017 Academy Series. It also includes analysis from an Academy Series match between the Brisbane Lions Academy and Tasmania. The GWS Giants Academy is an elite AFL side made up of 17, 18 and 19-year-old footballers from around the New South Wales ACT. They're chosen to play in the Under-18 Academy Series against teams from the Sydney Swans Academy, Brisbane Lions Academy, Gold Coast Suns Academy, Northern Territory Thunder and Tasmania. The team KPIs used by the GWS Academy are inside 50, uncontested marks, kicking efficiency, contested possession and goal kicking accuracy. An inside 50 is defined as when the ball is either kicked, handballed or run inside the attacking 50-metre arc of either team. To be classified as an inside 50, the ball must travel a minimum of 5 metres inside the 50-metre arc. An uncontested mark is defined as a mark taken by a player with no immediate pressure from an opposition player, i.e. no pressure within 1 to 2 metres. Kicking efficiency is determined by calculating the number of effective kicks as a percentage of overall kicks. An effective kick is one that is marked by a GWS player or ends in an advantage or possession to GWS. An ineffective kick is one that results in a turnover or advantage or possession to the opposition. Goal kicking accuracy percentage is determined by the percentage of goals scored in relation to overall number of scoring shots. A contested possession is classified as a possession achieved as a result of winning a contest. It includes hard ball gets, loose ball gets, contested marks, free kicks won in a contest. A hard ball get is where a win disputed ball while physically beating an opponent at ground level. A loose ball get is winning other disputed ball at ground level, i.e. the right place at the right time. Free kicks, excluding those paid off the ball or downfield, and contested marks where an opponent had a chance to spoil or mark. The Longo match was used to analyse the match between GWS and Tasmania. Based on the following KPIs previously mentioned and from the data we were able to ascertain the following. So we can see here that our kicking efficiency for the majority of the match was well above our 60% that we were looking for, and our total was 67%. Contested ball, for the first half of the match we were in front on this part of the game, and our third and fourth quarters we did drop away a little bit. Overall we still were +7, which is quite positive. Uncontested marks was a little bit all over the place for us, but overall we're 7 in front, so 7+ in uncontested marks. Our inside 50s, we probably need to work on restricting the number of inside 50s to our opponent. We were -7 in this area. A positive factor for us was our goal kicking. So overall we were up around the 80% mark, which is almost 10% more than our 7% that we're looking for. So overall we won the contested ball, which is a positive for us, and generally when we win the contested ball we win the game. We do have to work harder to get inside our opponent and use better body work to create outlet options. We dropped away in contested ball as the game went on, so this is concerning and something we need to work harder at, particularly against the better teams like the Sydney Swans, who structure up very well. Our kicking efficiency let us down in the first and the fourth quarters. In the first quarter this led to a number of uncontested marks for the opposition in dangerous parts of the ground and allowed them to dominate the play. In the fourth quarter our poor kicking efficiency caused more contests around the ground, which meant that the opposition were able to win more contested ball than us, and that kept scoreboard pressure on, and it also kept them in the match. So we've got a couple of little snippets to look at here. So the first one, just some ineffective kicks and things that affected our structures. So the first kick here is a long kick down the line to a group of players, so a good bailout type kick. So we pause it here though. We've got 3 Tasmanian players going for the ball. Not ideal. We need our big guys in there to either force that ball over the boundary line or to bring it to ground so that our midfield can get their hands on it. You can see there it also allows them, they win the footy, also allows them to come back inside the corridor and reload for another forward entry. Some good hands here to sort of work our way out of trouble, out of our defensive 50, and just a short kick just turns the footy over, and again allows them to come back through the corridor and reload for another attack. So this third one, we have Shipley here takes the ball out on the wing, so he's looking for options. So we pause here. He's decided to go to a wide option here on the boundary who has an opponent with him. Instead of looking inboard to this 45, which would have given us better access to a forward 50 entry, the poor kick by him results in an out of bounds and another stoppage. So the next one is another bailout kick. So from down the line, so it's a long kick down the line, ball goes over the top. So number 33 here has two options. So he can either block and try and keep his opponent away so that our player can run on with the ball, or he can drop away from that contest and become a handball option for him. He chooses to do neither and just basically brings his player into the space and causes a smother and out of bounds and another stoppage. So the next one here, again we're on the wing. We get the ball, pretty good position here. It's a good option, a good position to start attacking from, and a poor kick just goes out of bounds, and again we're looking at another stoppage in a 50-50 sort of part of the ground. Next one here, if we look at this setup, so we'll pause it here. Shipley here is about to get the ball, so this is a scenario that we practice quite a lot at training. So we have a player out here looking for an outlet, so he's in a not too bad a position here. So as the play goes on, Shipley takes the ball, and instead of looking to dish out the back to our outlets here, just a scrubby kick forward and causes another stoppage. And another kick here, so another stoppage. Quite a good kick here into a dangerous part of the ground for us. So pause it here. Fortunately, forward wasn't in front. Allowed his man to come in front of him. He trails in and gives away the free kick, allowing Tasmania easy exit from a dangerous part of the ground for us. And the last one we're going to look at is another bailout kick. It's quite shallow, so we needed to be much wider, closer to the boundary. As you can see here, we come in and pause it there, and you can see, we'll go back, pause here. We've got good coverage at the front of the contest. We've got our player here involved in the contest, and the GWS player here trailing in. His opponent sits at the back, easy disposal, another forward entry for Tasmania. So you can see there's some clear areas we can work on and improve on for our next match against the Brisbane Lions. So looking at this match, we did some opposition analysis, and a couple of weaknesses that we've looked at for Brisbane is that they're defending once the ball's out in space. They're outside the contest all through the squeeze. Their backs are a little bit shaky one-on-one and in the air. Also on the ground when they're having to defend. They do get numbers at the contest, and they squeeze the ground well. Their mids and their backs like to run hard when they're allowed some space, and they like to receive the ball forward of the contest. The KPIs we used to analyse these games were contested possessions, uncontested marks, inside 50s, opposition marks inside 50, and goals. So contested possessions is the same as we looked at previously. same as uncontested marks and inside 50s. Opposition mark is classified as any mark taken by an opposition player inside Brisbane's forward 50 metre arc, whether that be by a Tasmanian player or by a Brisbane player, and obviously goals that are scored by Brisbane. So looking at the stats, we can see here that Tasmania smashed Brisbane in contested possession around the ground, other than that third quarter when Brisbane got on top. So contested ball for us is going to be the key to winning the match. Tassie smashed them in contested ball in the first 2 quarters and allowed them to dominate play around the ground. In the third quarter, Tassie's intensity around the contest dropped away and allowed Brisbane to get forward of the footy and find time and space. This resulted in 18 inside 50s for the third quarter for Brisbane. The inside 50s that Brisbane had in the third quarter, of those, they only scored 5 goals. It means they were pretty wasteful going forward, and only one of those goals was from a mark. All the rest were from free play. We need to ensure that we spread hard defensively to put pressure on their ball carriers, because they also allowed 10 marks to be taken by the opposition inside their 50 metre arc. So we'll look at a little bit of footage here now from this game. So we'll see here, first one, Brisbane player takes the ball, kicks along inside, see closer, Tassie structured up well. Brisbane player here doesn't really put in a very solid contest, and Tassie are able to clear the area. Next one coming up is there's a quick entry into a dangerous part of the ground, similar to the one we saw from the Giants before. But again, looking here, first 2 players into the area are Tasmanian players. No Brisbane players really to be cited to put pressure on. And again, Tassie able to clear quite easily out of the area. Third one we're going to look at is, just pause it there, so really good defensive pressure here from the Tasmanian player. Doesn't allow the Brisbane Lions player to come back inside, forces his kick wide, which means that 2 Tassie players also, they're structuring up well, coming across to support and forcing it out of bounds. Next one we're going to look at here is an entry in the middle of the ground, so a pretty good spot to be entering the forward 50 from. As he kicks in, you see here again, it's a pretty poor kick, but also probably forced because of the way that Tasmania have structured up. They've got 2, 3 players and 1 Brisbane forward here. Makes it quite easy for, again, poor effort by the Brisbane Lions forward. Pretty easy for Tasmania to exit. So here we go again. So this one here, so Brisbane player gets around. So what we see here, really good structure, good defensive pressure. So 1, 2, 3, 4 Tasmanian players structured well inside the 50. Forward pressure coming at the ball carrier and pressure coming from behind forces the ball to be kicked into a contest. Plenty of numbers around the footy, and a quick kick goes out on the full by the Brisbane player. So last one here, quick kick in, plenty of time and space, and again, good structure by the Tasmanian players, causes a contest, probably should have been an easy mark, and results in a kick over, a quick scrubby kick that goes to a Tasmanian player. So, we can see from the stats and the footage that if we structure up well and win the contested ball, we'll go a long way to winning this match against Brisbane. So this week, our training focus will be on our drills that work on our stoppage and defensive spread, and also on our defensive structures around the defensive 50 and clearing the area. If we can put these into place, this should all go a long way to allowing us to be very competitive and hopefully win the match against Brisbane.